Gold Coast, Melbourne, Hobart and Geelong, I'm coming to your town soon with my brand new show, A Call to Neckbeards. Don't miss out. It's raunchy. You'll kick yourself if you do. You know, I'm seeing a trend, and that trend is making me very smug. But then again, when am I not?
A better you starts today.
I'll tell you, you'll know someone like this, and I think that you know them intimately. Ooh, that's a jab at you, just in case you did too much of a dumb shit to get it. Anyway, the trend is, and I'm seeing it on so many forums, all of these neats saying, holy f***, I'm a neat, and I've just realised that's not a good thing. What is that? What's going on there? Well, I think that they've all self-identified it, and you're going to crucify me in the comments for it. But I'll say it anyway, because I'm that brave. I will take on computer nerds. You weak-armed pansies. Here is your problem. You're all addicted to computer games, aren't you? Now, listen to the autistic screeching. I can hear it across it. Well, some of that is the alley cat that's outside. But other than that, and outside on this island, I've really got to eradicate that pest before it starts taking up the beauty that is success. But look, you could own your own personal island like I do if you just heed this warning, which is that you see it constantly, a bunch of people saying, I wasted my life on video games. I sat there being like, yes, the World of Warcraft patch is going to come out and it's going to make it so much better. And I mean, I guess the pants are kind of cooler. That's what they're wasting their lives on. The whole thing is, everything that you do in your life, and you need to write this down, is a trade-off. Every little unit of your time, if you are not using it well, you are using it on something, and it's either moving you towards a better future or it's moving you away from a better future. You need to think about life in that regard. That everything that you are doing, I'm talking about right now, and I think that you've made a great investment in signing up to Jordan Shanks, haven't you? Yeah, you're on Patreon. Yes, very good, very good. Yes, especially the free Patreon as well. Now that we give you little activities that you could be doing every single day, writing them down. That's right, every single day, if you sign up to Patreon, we are going to give you free activities. So sign up as a free member, even if you're too much of a cheap ass to pay for the official pricey, unbelievably elevated price of like a couple of bucks, you hobos, for like 3 extra videos a week. Well, no, that one costs a little bit more. But the point is that if you want extra videos, it costs a tiny, tiny amount of money. The money that you give to hobos. Can I be the hobo? Come on. At least I'm going to not spend it on booze. Well, I'll probably spend some of your money on booze. I mean, after all, getting drunk on YouTube is a staple classic. However, back to you. Geeks. Come on, I'll take you. I'm pretty scared now that I think about it because I've realised that I'm pretty geeky myself. But anyway, the point is, geeks, listen to me. You have good minds. You do. However, you do rot them with video games. We know what the studies come out of it. First off, you're little angry, erratic psychos, which is just like, guys, look at yourselves. You don't have the muscle to back it up. This reminds me so much of when you started seeing those fights between Proud Boys and Antifa, and then you have these like little pasty from like, I don't know, the North Shore or whatever, in their black shirts, be like, Black Lives Matter, trying to punch a guy who is roided up. How deluded do you have to be? How much privilege do you have to be surrounding yourself to be like, yeah, that guy that's like huge, I can take him, right? This is what's happening to you. And you can see it in the comments. Every single time I ever see a particularly cunty, snarky remark that thinks is like, they clearly think they're way smarter than they are in their comment. Every time I ever see that, I always think, let me guess, I go on YouTube, what are they? They're a burgeoning YouTube gamer because that's all they've ever consumed in their life. These are the 2 career options they have. It's either, I'm going to be so good at computer games that I'm going to be in one of those computer game teams and I'm going to be like a soccer athlete, but for computer games. No, that's it. Or then the other one is, I'm going to be a YouTuber and I'm just going to put little clips of me with bullshit like mad kills on Fortnite, but they're going to be nowhere near as good as ninjas and I don't give a about Ninja anymore. And so you see it every time, and they have little clips, like 15-second clips of themselves doing some mad kill on Fortnite. And so that's how they have no skill. They don't really have a good verbal parlay. They're not very good at verbal lashings. They're not very good at being a Lojo de Dallas. They're not very good at attacking you. But it's still just very cunty. And the reason that it's cunty is because they think they're being more of a cunt than they are. But there's just a cunt energy behind it of like, yeah. That's all I ever see with it. These little gremlins. Every time. It is incredible. Like, it is 100% success rate. There is always going to be some shitty little gamer with their little shitty clips. They'll be in the comments now, just being like, "You still online, bro?" And some shit like that. Just being like, "Weren't you cancelled?" I don't know, whatever the fuck they'll say. Something like that. Anyway, that's the first thing that we know. That it makes you way angrier. It obviously makes you more antisocial. It makes you more depressed. So what is happening when you're retreating into the video game? I bet that you have noticed this feeling. It's the same feeling that you get with all of these bad addictions, which is you go in there originally because it's fun, you start playing video games, and then you start with your video games. See, this is the thing. I'm such a boomer that I can't even remember the video games that I used to play. Age of Mythology. I was really into Age of Mythology. Yeah, but this is the whole thing, right? Like, because it's part of my nostalgia childhood, I'm just like, all games suck, except Age of Mythology. I think arguably the shittest of the Age of Empire franchises. Not in my books! I liked those little crap graphics of like, wow, it's a sphinx, but it looks even quite square, pretty shit graphics. Anyway, the reason that you go into it, obviously, is because it's fun. It really preys on the male brain, and why is that? Because men are hardwired to be problem solvers. As I'm always talking about in my seminars, which I will start up again, there's all these gamer programmers that come to my show, which, by the way, hey, I've got nothing against crack dealers, just crack addicts. I'm the reverse of everybody else. So everyone's like, no, we need to go to the drug dealers and get them off the streets. Hey, they're just trying to make a living, man. You're stupid enough to take the product. I think, obviously, though, like, look, there's obviously going to be that demand there, and somebody is going to fulfill it. Why not you? I think there's like much more evil things that you could be doing in your life. I think that when it comes to your personal mental hygiene, you should be getting the fuck off it. But they always say, and they are geniuses, obviously, these people that come up with computer games are some of the smartest people in our society. I wish they were using their brains for something a little more productive, let's just be honest. But still, nonetheless, they are using their intelligence to trap you in a really hyper fantasized problem solving scenario where first off you're way hotter than you are, you've got magic powers, you can die and come back to life as many times as you like, just keep going. It's like despite the fact that it's like some Achilles hero in some mythical world fighting a Hydra, it's easier than you getting like a good job in real life, so you go towards that. Now, the obvious piece of advice that everybody always says, so this is what it sucks you in for that, and then what happens after that? Then you start realizing that you're sinking all of your time into it, and there's all these opportunities in life that are passing you by. The worst thing that I can ever remember, God, I regret this so much. I was playing, it's pathetic. I was playing another game, what was it, Red Faction 2, because it hits the male brain so hard that this happened. This chick that I liked at school, her friend rings me up on a Friday night and is just like, Jordan, guess who likes you? And I'm just like, you? And she was like, no. Like that. I remember her being like, no. But then she was like, beep, likes you. And then these girls like, and then it's like, you should come over to this party. And, you know, I was like, 5 suburbs away. Nah, beep. Beep, beep. Dude, that is like, what the fuck was I thinking? And then obviously I try like a couple of weeks later, I'm just like, I've got an erection, I didn't jack off recently, so like I'm horny again. She was just like, get away from me, loser. And I was like, well, at least Red Faction's always here for me. See, this is the whole thing. It starts consuming your life, and as a result of that, you revert into it because it distracts you from your shit life. It's simultaneously, this is what's so bad about bad addictions. And let's define what a bad addiction is for a second. And I want you to write this down. A bad addiction is something that negatively detracts from your life, but acts as a band-aid to distract you from your life. Video games hits that perfectly. Perfectly. And as such, this is why they regret this. Because you go into it, first off, because it's fun, start sinking more and more time into it, it starts to become a time sink. All of these opportunities are going by because remember, every little metric of your time is either an investment in the future or it is a withdrawal from the future. So every time that you are going into a video game, unless you are becoming like a superstar video game player or whatever, but that's not you, come on, you're withdrawing another opportunity of your life. Then, even basic things, like when you go to job interviews, you don't have the same social skills as like those bro shark guys that are just like, yeah, toga parties. They're going to get there in front of you. And why? Because they went to these events. Because they started socializing with people. Their social skills are better. And this isn't even something that you could be focusing on. Like, you could just be one of these like nerdy little engineers that doesn't even want that life. But guess who is going to be the guy that is going to get the job as the nerdy little engineering guy? The guy that spent more time on engineering than video games. I don't know, that's probably the case anyway. But generally, this is what happens, yeah? So the general advice you always have to give is that you have to gamify your life. How do you gamify your life? This is why we're always talking about goal setting. This is why we're always talking about trying to make your things that you hate doing as fun as possible. This is all about gamifying it. Making out these little tiny little side quests, these little, not side quests, little tiny incremental, what are they called? Sub-goals to the end goal of beating the big boss in life, which is usually what? It's like getting a girlfriend, something like that. But there's so many things that you could be doing that is replacing that. So every time that you are doing it, it is draining from your future as opposed to building on your future. So it's twofold. Someone else is building on their future while you are declining from your future. You are withdrawing from your future. So they are going up twofold. Do you understand? Because even if you were just not doing that and doing something that was neutral with your time, they're still going up. This is the sad reality of the situation. So now you have all of these NEETs that are in their late 30s, that are in their early 30s, that are in their late 20s that realize, oh, I wasted my life. And I do think about that a lot because something just clicked when I read self-help originally, which was, okay, I really have to get off the games. I've got to do it. Now, I've got other bad habits, obviously, but I think that one of the major ones that I have is that I spend virtually every waking moment of my life working. So do you think that there's anybody that is going to ever catch up to me in my specific field of what I do specifically? No, they're never going to be at the same level, ever, unless they work at that pace for as many years with consistent effort. But you can't do that if you have one of these massive time sinks. It doesn't really give you anything in return. That's the true tragedy of all of this. What I find especially tragic about it is you go to countries like Singapore, for instance, and that is their drugs, because if you have drugs there, you get beheaded, right? So that is their drugs. And so they have all of these pamphlets of all these people being like, I was going to go to selective school, but I was too stupid because of video game. It hits the smarties. It's my same problem with Reddit. It hits the nerds. And I don't think that it's true about like the future's female. I think the future belongs to the nerds, the losers. It does if you can take it. It really does. If you can get out of these time sinks and then you can put it into something of value, using your mighty brains to be pushing that forward, my God, you will have a great life. And everything that you want will naturally come out of it as well. Naturally come out of concerted effort into one specific field that excites you. That makes it like, because this is the same thing, right? When you are going into those games, really what are you doing? You're trying to avoid pain. But what gives you the pleasure? What's the thing that you can see, that you can, like, it gives you this future of, wow, I could be that guy. What is it? What is that guy that you want to be? Like, just think about your ultimate lifestyle. Here's your homework. I want you to write down what your ultimate life would look like. It's a classic. I've done it 1,000 times on this channel, but this is why we need to keep doing this, because this is just proven over and over again. The people that have better futures think about their futures more. Write it down. The people that have better futures think about their futures more. Why is that? Because it's not random at that point. There's some guided mechanism towards it. It really is law of attraction-y things that people always go like, you're thinking about the secret. Yeah, but there is a secret to the secret, which is that the more that you are thinking about it, the more likely it is going to become, because at least you're aiming for something. Most people don't. And this is why I find gaming so repulsive, because it keeps you in the haze of not even appreciating the moment for what it is. Just kind of leeching you out of your body, like sort of this out-of-body experience in a matrix. So anyway, obviously by that last word, I've turned into Andrew Tate. Now, sign up to Jordan Shanks, get your extra videos. I will guide you to a better life, damn it. That is my mission. I want you to have a better life. I want you to give me money for it.